The national carrier, Kenya Airways, says that it is experiencing flight disruptions, and that's due to delays in securing aircraft components required for maintenance. Now, Russia, which accounts for a significant percentage of those crucial components that are being sought after, the CEO of the airline, Allan Kilavuka, cited titanium as one of the key raw materials used by the aviation sector and also crucial for the maintenance of these planes. Well, Kilavuka further said that if the shortage is not addressed promptly, KQ, which operates a fleet of Boeing and Embraer planes, could be forced to reduce the number of flights on several routes. Now, this statement comes a week after the Nairobi Securities Exchange announced the suspension of trading of the airline shares for another year. Of course, the suspension has been on since July 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. Earlier on, I spoke to Leonard Khafafa. He's a public policy analyst who specializes in aviation, and he's also a former advisor to Turkish Airlines and KQ. Take a look.
Kenya Airways is not the only airline affected. All other airlines are, because the parts industry, as you may well know, aircraft manufacturers are few. We have for fleets, basically for airline fleets, we have Airbus, we have Boeing. So airlines get their parts more or less from the same manufacturers, and there's a global shortage. Kenya Airways is not exceptional. It's not the only one hit by this global shortage in aviation parts. It's across the globe.
Well, we know the airline referred to specifically shortages in titanium, and they also said that's due to the Russia-Ukraine crisis, which of course is impacting industries across the globe. Now, how badly specifically have we seen global inventories of titanium? How have they been impacted by this Russia-Ukraine crisis, and how critical is this metal to the aviation industry?
Russia and Ukraine are big manufacturers of titanium parts. A lot of ore is mined in Russia and Ukraine. China is the biggest supplier, but alongside China, you have Russia and you have Ukraine. So the fact that the war is on has severely affected the mining of titanium and the manufacturing of parts across the globe. I may also add that the COVID-19 pandemic precipitated a labor shortage, in the sense that factories closed, parts factories closed, and when they reopened, skilled labor that had been there had either fallen away by natural attrition, meaning people had died, or it just had migrated to other pursuits other than aircraft assembly. So that's the problem is compounded by the fact that even where you have titanium, the people who actually mold these titanium parts, titanium into parts for aircraft use, are in short supply. There's a shortage of skilled labor.
With this pretty disappointing developments, I'd like to get a sense of your outlook for the sector, because we know IATA is already projecting that Africa's aviation industry will see major losses this year, while other industries across the globe, airline industries across the globe, rebound. Now, Kenya Airways is an airline that's just barely getting back on its feet financially. So how much of a threat are these challenges that you've outlined in the supply chain, and of course the resulting disruptions? How much of a challenge is that to its operations and its bottom line as well?
At the moment, it's not too much of a challenge. We haven't seen that much of a disruption. Nothing that isn't manageable for now, with a few changes in frequency, a few changes in flight schedules. So far, so good. But going forward, if the shortage persists, which we hope it won't, then there'll be an obvious effect on the top line of the airline. And top line basically means the revenues that are obtained when passengers fly or when cargo is moved around the globe. So there'll obviously be changes in the top line if you have fewer flights emanating from Nairobi or from any other hub in the world. So yes, that is a bridge that can only be talked of when we get to it. When we cross that bridge is when we can possibly say for sure that the bottom line is going to be affected. But for now, Kenya Airways is doing everything within its possibilities to ensure that there's mitigation of these supply chain issues. And hopefully, within the next month or couple of months, supplies should be more or less where they were before.